Today I'm going to be showing you this controller I've made for my truck. It consists of two relays, this one and this one. They are headlight relays from a car. As you can see in this upper picture, here is what it looked like before I installed it. It has a switch on for on and off, two LEDs to show that the circuit's working, along with two 10-amp fuses so that it stops any shorts from happening while it's in operation. Now in this view, you can see that I've flipped over the circuit, and as you can see, it contains 6 wires. The two on the left side of the screen is the two outputs going out to the lights on the trailer. The one in the middle there with the green and the yellow wire is the 12-volt incoming. As far as the one on the top right of the screen, you got the green and the yellow wire by themselves, which is the two individual 12-volt inputs, and the one on the bottom right is the negative side. And then as I zoom in closer, you can see that I have put the two fuses as removable, whereas the rest of the circuit I have soldered in permanently, as those do not need to be often changed if anything goes wrong. And the bottom of the switch on the far right of the screen, you can tell it's a double pole single throw type switch, whereas I can do two circuits on and off with the same switch at the same time. And I'll go over you with the circuitry here in a bit, but first I'd like to show you how this works. This here is our power supply. It's 12 volts, and it's what we're going to be using to power our circuit today. Let there be power! In this scene, I will show you how to connect the power up to it, and how I do so with the 12-volt inputs, and how the circuit works. And I will go first to showing you how to put each connection in. It's demonstrated here. With the negative input with the black, it simply connects to the negative side right here. Then I got one total income, which is 12 volts solid. Now we put that here. And I also have one more other wire to which I would use to trip each circuit. And I will show you here. And with the power on, and with my helping hands here, I can show you how the circuit works. I'll zoom in a little closer so you can see. First things first, I made sure the switch to the power was turned on. And then when this is connected in the car, it will work as follows. This switch right here, this incoming part, will be if the parking lights are on. And when it's got power, it trips the relay, turning on this LED, which is showing it's got power through the circuits. And when it comes to hitting the brakes, power will go through this circuit, triggering this LED, which would show that it's got power going to the taillights. And when I release it, it should go back off, and this one would come back on, showing that the circuit is still working. And here I'll show you again. Tail lights on, tail lights off. Parking lights on, parking off. This is a really clever circuit. And, it took me a few days to build it, but I was kind of upset because my trailer didn't have the proper wiring before, and then in turn caused the current to end up causing all the wires to melt. So I developed this to stop it from ever happening again. I'm going to be showing here today what the circuitry is of this here controller device. It starts with the both input of tail lights and one input of parking lights. Now I'll show you only one side of the circuit here today. We'll start off with the switch. And this here is a double pull, double throw switch. So it activates two circuits with a single flip of the switch. And I'll just show you the taillight side of the circuit. And it's 12 volts input as well for just the tail lights. And 12 volt in for the parking lights. And this here is the relay. It is an electronic switch when it activates with the 12 volts in for the tail lights. It trips the switch. And this here's the ground for it. It has to be grounded. And it also has to have a 12 volt in for the high current, so that it doesn't melt the circuitry. Here's the LED version of it, which trips the LED to show that the circuit's operating. It is a 1K ohm resistor, and is a red LED which is 2 volts. And of course, when the same circuit that activates the LED is also the same circuit as the output. And this is the fuse for the output. It's a 10 amp fuse. and its 12 volt output as well. And that is the half of the circuit that we have shown you previously. Now we'll also show you a closer version of this circuit more in depth here in a second.